Hey everyone, last week I played a Nioh 3 demo at the Koei Tecmo America office, courtesy of Team Ninja's community manager Master inviting me. Massive thanks to everyone involved for providing me with the opportunity of a lifetime. Now I have many thoughts about my time playing the demo, and in a nutshell, I am incredibly excited for the full Nioh 3 experience when it comes out February 6, 2026. Before I go any further, I did want to mention that I did ask the team whether we will be getting an open beta so that players could give feedback, to which they said no comment. Also, as much as I want to go in depth with every little thing I experienced, I unfortunately will not be able to do so in this video. I will instead be talking a bit more generally about my experience in an almost story format. And there's a good reason for that. It's simply because there were too many good things I saw, and I could easily spend hours talking about it all. But not to worry, you can find some of my gameplay videos without commentary, so you can evaluate things on your own. But now, story time. From the very beginning, I went full Nioh nerd mode and just wanted to understand what had been changed since the last demo that was revealed at the Tokyo Game Show. So I spent a little bit of time in the character creator, investigating things like hairstyles and whatnot, but I had limited time with the demo, so I took a quick peek, gave it a mental thumbs up, and moved on. But I couldn't resist looking at the skill trees, and I noticed right away that they added axe, cestises, ninja sword, and hatchets. Now there's still no official confirmation what the last two weapons will be, but my money is on it being switchglaive and split staff. I nerded out because I wanted to feel prepared before engaging with the demo, but I quickly lost track of time and spent nearly an hour stuck in the weapon skill trees. At which point I decided, yeah, this is better off for screenshots. There's no way I'm going to be able to process everything in time. So for those of you who would like to geek out over every little detail like I would, check out the photo album of nearly 300 screenshots that I will have linked in the description below. Overall, I really liked what I saw with the weapons. Many martial arts were reassigned to different inputs, many new ones were added that I found aesthetically pleasing, some were incredibly badass, and I just became incredibly curious to get good at it all. In other words, I doubt I'll get bored of the weapons anytime soon. Now, nearly an hour later, I decided, it's probably a good idea to actually play the game. From the get-go, I was pleasantly surprised to see we had time traveled to the future, specifically the Bakumatsu period in the mid-19th century. I saw many familiar enemies, but also some new ones that piqued my curiosity as well. I wanted to learn each enemy and pull off some nifty sequences against them, but in between relearning everything to do with Nioh 3, including customizing my controls the way I wanted, I definitely struggled. But it was the type of challenge that I totally welcome. Side note, customizing my controls was a lot more streamlined than I expected, which meant that I could appreciate the Nioh 3 experience at large, which I very much did. I got a little giddy with excitement once I saw specific historical figures from Rise of the Ronin, like Takasugi Shinsaku and Okita Soji, make an appearance. For once, it was nice to understand more of the backstory of what was going on in these reimagined historical events. I imagine the feeling that I had from recognizing these things was akin to how those who understood things happening in prior Nioh games felt too. And this led me to appreciate the Nioh 3 world even further. It felt more expansive in nature, but it still retained that combat intensity and density that I've come to expect. After beating the first boss, I got happily lost in the open field areas. I always felt like there was something fun around the corner, some new thing to discover, some interesting enemy encounter to have. The open field areas felt appropriately dense, and I felt that the pacing between combat areas and home bases felt good too. When I reflect on my experience, I would say that playing Nioh 3 felt like I was right at home with Nioh 2, except that everything so far had felt bigger and better in basically every way. Enemies felt more interesting, each area felt like a fun puzzle to explore and solve. It was an overwhelming experience that filled me up with joy and curiosity. I knew I was going to have fun, and I very much did. Whatever perceived sense of loss I had about certain changes in Nioh 3 became largely forgotten, with all of the new goodies that Nioh does provide. I do remember telling Team Ninja's community manager Master that it would be nice to have 3 Guardian Spirit skills per Guardian Spirit, and he said he'd relay the feedback. But honestly, after reflecting on it, it's not really a must-have anymore. It's more of a nice-to-have. But why do I say that? Simply because there's so much creativity possible by incorporating summoning seals, having 4 weapons at your disposal, with multifaceted guardian spirits, and other details I have yet to fully understand or appreciate. Heck, I barely messed around with the aerial gameplay that's now possible in Nioh 3 and is a big part of ninja style. In other words, the extra dimensions of gameplay easily outmatch the relatively minor details I felt were missing. And I fully believe that I will be spending a long time appreciating Nioh 3. Unfortunately for this demo, I did have to rush through it as I had to catch a flight back home. I really wish I could have explored everything, including the battle scrolls which featured bosses like Takeda Shingen and Great Tengu. But given that I spent over 40 hours on the alpha demo, truth be told, I would probably need at least 100 to get my fill of this demo. That's a testament to how much fun I had, and how much more fun I believe I will have when Nioh 3 finally drops on February 6, 2026. Now before I wrap this video up, understandably many of you will have all sorts of questions that I have not given specific answers to. So feel free to ask me those questions in my live streams and I'll be more than happy to answer those there. In the meantime, check out that photo album and the unedited gameplay videos with no commentary that I will have linked in the description below, so you can evaluate the game yourself. Overall, I loved the totality of the Nioh 3 experience so far, but you may not agree with me, and that's fine. Because the thing is, I know I will be playing Nioh 3 for a very long time and will be enjoying it every single step of the way. So with that said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.